Good morning, LinkedIn friends, HubSpot Nation. Happy Friday, March 21st, 2025.
Woo!
We're here with another episode of Let's Build AI Skills with
Oh,
usually with Nico, George, and Chris. Nico's not going to make it today. So I guess it's on us, George.
just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Okay, I'll stop. My coconut water this morning. Cheers, everybody. I'm
There
doing
we
good. I'm
go.
doing good. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You know, ADHD, I'll say, has always been a struggle because you're always just like, okay, where's the next thing? Where's the next thing? Where's the next thing?
Yeah.
And, uh, AI,
Is it quickly becoming a superpower?
it is, it is, because I'm getting away with some stuff I maybe shouldn't be able to. But instead of thinking about it like that, maybe it's like, okay, we can create a lot more value
Yes.
with just real in the moment, like passionate feelings instead
Yeah.
of, trying to pre-plan and ensure that, all the usual stuff. And
Brother,
um,
there is power in capturing creativity in the moment.
yes.
And being able to strike when the iron is hot, right? Like, there are so many times in my life now where I'm using AI assisted content creation in, like, moments of we could call it genius or just moments of, like, whatever, and then I look and I'm like, "Never in the history of man has this been able to happen at the rate of speed and the goodness." Like, so listen, I did a thing this morning and I sent it to like several of my closest friends who happen to also be slightly spiritual. And they were like, bro, one was like, thank you. I needed these words. Like,
Mm, that's all you need. Just one, right? Yeah, man. And that's like funny you mention it that way because um, later today, I think it's in this value first communication part, but there's a couple of parts to that series, like the advertising trap, lead magnet trap, like that relates to communication and content the way it's always been done versus like when you can be in the community and active and just capturing it in the moment and responding to it in the moment. It's just a completely different ball game.
oh, without a doubt. Hey, listen, and again, you're doing great at like talking about a future show that you're going to do. I'm going to tell you right now, like going through and seeing conversations that people are having with my clone and immediately creating content to then
Mm,
put out on the internet or give to back to the clone for like better, like listen, learn, create, deploy value. Just write that framework down for the rest of your life. You won't have any revenue problems if you just do that to the planet. Anyway.
yeah. So what I want to share today is a little bit of a journey. For me, it's what kind of peer collaboration looks like with AI, and um, it relates to content and education, and just creating some things I never, or I've always dreamed of, but just never believed that I could actually get it done.
Yeah.
Um, and it starts with the premise of like a lot of times when we talk about creation of content with AI, it's new. Like it's new stuff. We got like so many businesses, and I've preached this for a while, especially in the industrial space. Like there's all this content, this just amazing technical content sitting in PDFs and user manuals and things that everybody's done that just never gets repurposed. Um, and so just that concept of going back and looking to see what you've got. Because, and as I mentioned, like the other side of ADHD is when I do sit down and
Mm.
plan, it's like 6 hour session and I get to stuff like this,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
where I
This may
created
be
this.
shocking some people watching this right now. I'm used to this because of just being close to you. But yes.
Right. So I've used to the deer in headlights when people see this, but it's been amazing when I can walk people through for 15 minutes, especially leaders. Because this was me on a Sunday, 6 hours back in 2020, like just everything related to like a content. So this is at the top, it says contentful buyer journey diagram, like all of the places that content naturally resides, that naturally gets created, but we don't always attach it to the plans of the business, right? So I just got it all out of my head, right? And had success walking leaders through like, look, this is why this happens over here and it supports customer marketing over here, but we never talk about that because
Okay.
we're so focused on leads
Yeah.
and new, right? And then we never get to the customer marketing because we think we got to do new stuff for that, right? And we're associating with processes. So I've always gotten the feedback like, hey, this could be a little better diagram, right? So finally last year, I'm like, hey, Claude, can you read and understand the attached diagram?
Yeah, bro.
Right. So it goes through and clearly understands it no matter how like complex it is. That's just a screenshot, like no other prep. This is even before like I had all the custom instructions and
Yeah.
you know, so then I'm like, okay, you understand it. I'm interested in any insights that come to your mind based on this project knowledge.
All capitals. Any.
And at this point in my mind, like, so we're gonna get to like a value first course that I've been building with the help of Manus, the new
Yeah.
agent, is
I can't
what
wait to see
we're
this.
gonna get to. Um, but I want to show this because this is a collaboration. Telling
Well,
uh I'm not telling us where to go yet, right? I want to learn to see like I think this is a cool diagram, but
see
obviously
that
I have trouble communicating it,
that's the
right?
part that I'm curious about of like when you said any and you started to read, if you were the creator that actually started to learn about your creation.
Yes. Exactly. In terms of like and a common issue that I have and I still struggle with is like I just have feel like I get these moments of brilliance and people tell me it's brilliant,
Yeah.
but it doesn't always come out brilliant, right?
Right,
Like,
right, right.
uh,
Welcome to the
so
club, brother.
right. So at this point, I was already thinking of like content first, like because at the end of the day, after listening to Marcus Sheridan, they ask you answer for years. I'm like, how do we
Yeah.
get content as a part of the salesperson's job description? Like, why are we having such a hard time getting there? So I started thinking of like,
Mm.
okay, let's do like a content first sales methodology, content first marketing, content first service, right? So that was in my mind as this was happening.
Can I throw
And
something in here?
sure,
What I wish we could create is content first humans.
I'm
That's
getting there,
what's
bro.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
Um, so these insights happen to align with that because content first means like in the best form of the content, it is education first, right? Um, So, rise of educational first business models. This is where like so keeping yourself in check as it reads this. It can treat it like it's some like, oh, this is a best practice and like this is happening everywhere and like it's like no, this is never been tried before. So the rise is no rise. This is just one diagram that one dude created, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but look at this traditional model create product service, add educational content to support, use education for marketing, convert to sales. New
yeah.
model, as suggested, lead with educational value, build trust through knowledge transfer, create community through shared learning,
Oh yeah.
monetize through enhanced capability. Uh,
Whoop.
and I'm like, okay, I'm in love now. Like, like you get this. I just had to give you the diagram, and
Yeah.
that's what you come out with, right? Emergence of trust velocity.
Let's
right?
go.
Content as infrastructure, right? Integration of community and commerce. Okay, so I'm like locked
So
in.
many good talking points just right there. That's like 6 months worth of content that we just scrolled.
Right. Um, and then I said, wow, this response blew my mind in terms of saying all the things I've never been able to explain clearly after I say F leads. Uh, and so it takes me in that direction, and we build a narrative around like, because that's coming from whenever I have a conversation about marketing, business growth, and we start to get towards leads focused, like initiatives and goals. It just has
Yeah.
never resonated with me. It's
Yeah.
always rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I hate
So,
conversions. I love conversations.
right. Yeah. It's like, so, so we'll fast forward a little bit. Because then I'm like, okay, content first. And I actually start to build a separate cloud project to support this. But then I'm like, okay, how do you get to that content and the why behind it? And at the same time, there's an influx of people saying you got to bring value, you got to bring value, you got to bring value. How do you create value first? Right. And it just started to click for me. And it's like maybe like content is just a piece of this. And if you cannot get yourself into the mindset of value first, you're never gonna get to the content first. And it should be something that resonates with people. Um, and my favorite like an comparison is, and why like the best salespeople might be challenged when they have to go digital. It's like these are the people that can just show up, knock on the door with donuts or food or whatever, and like you bring sustenance to you, like without you necessarily asking for it. And they do that because it can create value in that moment. Like if you're hungry and I feed you,
Yeah.
like that's valuable part, and you didn't have to do that. You can't bring meals online. Like you can't do that digitally.
Although
So
I wish I could order some donuts right now. Dang it. Yeah.
right. So sales people have literally said to me, what do I say after I connect with them on LinkedIn? And it's like, whatever you say when you knock on the door,
Yeah. The words that come out your mouth. That's what
right?
you say.
And then, but in actuality, if they're used to having like lunch or some snacks or something tangible, that might be the first thing that they say and show. And now that's the icebreaker, and they can't do that, right? So um, we get to so over the holiday, like I started really digging in with Claude to just build out this
Now, which holiday is
documentation.
this? Is this Christmas?
This is Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just
Just trying to
digging
get
it
the timeline.
digging in because the next epiphany was doing superhuman framework with George.
Oh, yeah.
And that series, uh like I love that framework, right? But for me it was another, you were going to put it in the hands of leaders, and they're going to let organizational structure get in the way,
Yep.
sales KPIs get in the way,
Yep.
sales compensation get in the way of the restructuring required to actually create the human success across the organization. So I'm like, where can they go to understand how to structure the organization? And I don't think there's anything out there, like in terms of like moving, because at the end of the day, there was another chat. I was like, okay, Claude, marketing, sales, service, those labels, no matter how well we're working together inside of an organization, it's like there's baggage. There's too much baggage around these terms. So imagine if that stuff didn't exist, how would you build an organization, Claude?
Oh,
Right? AI native. And it was all based on natural value flow at all costs. Like remove obstacles, like create environments where, like you can see on the screen here, value constellations. And we can see some of this happening at For Poundly. It's like awesome to watch where just people are around each other. And then when value is needed, they work together to create that value. And it doesn't require strict structure, strict team management, and it's pretty powerful to watch. And that was kind of what it started generating. And whenever I ask like other AIs too, like similar kinds of questions about where we're going and how like it often gets to this point of value, like focus on the value being created. That's what develops the trust. That's what develops the value for you when you're helping other people do it. Right. So all of it's kind of based around that. And so now we're here. Like Manus is, if we go home here,
Yeah.
right? It is a general AI agent
Okay.
that underneath the hood is using Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the last I heard,
Okay.
and like 28 other tools,
Oh.
uh, right? And it's got this use case gallery where the one that got my attention was a physics course,
Oh.
where it built out 2 modules of a physics course. Um, let's see if I can find it here. Um, uh,
Well,
we
there's
can
an
let's
interactive course
on
on
this one.
momentum theorem. Holy crap.
Yeah. Uh, just do this one. Right. So you can replay and it starts to do it, shows you everything that it did. Right. And it's building this website out like as it does it. And there's interactive elements and like quizzes. And, it was just a mind blowing. Right. It's got a task list that it's running through as it moves through. So that course part is like, okay, I've got all this documentation for value first. Right? Can I just give it to Manus and say build a course, based on this?
Yeah.
And this is where just again, like learning curve with AI, the more novel and the more like not status quo your concepts are,
Yep.
the harder it can be to get AI to stick with you since it's trying to predict like the next answer based on everything that it knows,
Yep.
which
Yep.
is a lot of human status quo stuff, right? Um, so what's really cool is that you can again like the barrier to entry like low here, like you can just click on these all these like you can see exactly what you can do. Um, so I go there in the first pass. Um, uh, I try some stuff and I got to the place where
Oh, wow.
the value first framework online course. And this is maybe a couple hours for me, but several like 20 to 30-minute sessions of Manus just working like
Yeah.
by itself, right? And we go to learn more here. We've got module 1. It came up with this. This is again like a collaboration, right? I
Yeah.
had not developed this trapped versus transformed
Oh,
like
bro, there's something there.
format,
Yeah.
right? And it just started like putting it in. And this is where I am not an educational expert. I'm not a trained teacher. I don't build courses. Like I have no idea how to build an effective course.
Yeah.
Um, so looking at you can view all files in this task,
Mm.
right? There is
Dude, I just saw an implementation guide. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Yeah.
So like course structure, right? It starts to build that, like it designs the course and then creates the content and then creates the interactive elements. And if we go down here, we take module 1 quiz.
So you can obviously like still tweak or finesse this as the human, but it got you like 95% of the way to where you're trying to go.
Yeah. Yep. And that's where all the documents. So there's an element that if I were good at web dev, like it gave me all the files I need to just go make a website. And I think a lot of the friction that I'm seeing is because I'm asking it to make the website. That's where it starts to it started to change information. So I so at this point I got it to stick to like the core material. And then my next step was to have it update all the quizzes and exercises to match that, right? And that's where I ran out of space and I ran out of the performance window. So then I start another version to see if I can get there to like, okay, I learned how I had to adjust like last time.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a better content base, a better context base, and let's
Yep.
see if we can get there.
Yeah.
Right. And there, um, yeah, I was going through it last night and it got to the point where it's like, okay, starting to do a little bit of the same stuff, but way better foundation that we started with.
Yeah.
And um, but we got to this end point where I still needed a pretty important update because it was too concise. It was chopping off ideas. And so I reminded it like, no, I need this, I need full versions of this and this and this. Um, so I started building out some more pages and then was getting stuck because the system was overloaded. Right. So I come back this morning and I said, hey, I really want to finish this part. You did this part, but you can go ahead and skip this step if it's causing you problems, because
Yeah.
I really want to see if this update helped build a better course, a better online. Um, so and so we can see since I'm not giving it any kind of like guidance on design or wireframing or anything like that, we've got a
Yeah.
different design and a different looking course here,
Sure.
right? So I'm just going to click start learning and I enter the module. So now we actually
Mhm.
have like, can't click on these, but,
But you get the
a-
point. Like you
right,
understand what it's gonna do.
right. A different kind of
Ooh,
structure here.
scroll back up. Industrial age thinking versus value first thinking. Ooh, that's dope
Yeah.
right there.
And then we have a nicer, knowledge check here. So what is the core recognition of value first framework? Uh, Value inherently wants to flow. So next, which of the following is not a foundational principle? And so it made all
Yeah.
of this content. I don't have any quizzes. I just had like, this is what it means. These are the traps. These are the manifestos. Like none of it was built with the intention of making a course
Yeah.
at this point, right?
Yeah.
Um, so which is following not enablement. Standardization creates more value in all contexts. It does not. How does value first thinking view organizations um, as living systems with interconnected elements that continuously
I love
adapt?
how you're taking your own test right now. Like
Uh,
you
what role do people play in value creation according to the value first framework? Competing for limited resources? Nope. Contributing through connection around shared purpose. Which mindset shift is central? Um, from control to enablement. Finish. All right, great job. 5 out of 5.
all right, 100%, bro.
Yeah. Self assessment. Enter your response. Like I can actually click in here and type in,
Wow.
right? I can submit. I don't know where that would go right now. But yeah.
Here's the thing though, like a couple more hours and maybe like a great collaboration with a web dev person, and you're like, let's just build this.
Yeah.
Like you're able to get something again 95% of the way there, tag in a collaborator, and then boom, like make magic happen like never before.
Yes. Exactly. And the step that so when the first pass of this only had module one, it said it created 8 modules. There was only content for one module. It looks like that's still the case, but most of that update was, hey, there's just too much information here. So let's create other pages that we can reference for all the manifestos and all of the traps. And this is where it's decided to, rename my manifestos, which it was told not to. And but the structure um and just the creation, like, it's not a blank slate anymore. Like, and
Rewrite.
I feel like I can actually build a course. And
Yeah.
that was something that was not on my capability plate, like, at all.
Yeah. So now I
Right.
have a question for you, and I've been waiting. I typed it in when you said it, and this will be a great close for us because we've got another show that we've got to go do here in a minute.
Yeah.
So you said at the beginning of this, Chris, you said I never had the belief. You said that. So my question now is, now that you're doing it and you have to believe, what's that doing to your human brain?
I mean, anything's possible. Like, don't this is abundance. This is what abundance looks like. Like, when we can just go and just do whatever comes to mind, right? And obviously it's right now, it's digitally, like, bound, like, that do anything has to be, like, digital in creation. But once we get to, robots hanging out around us, like, in suits, and, like, literally Iron Man suits, probably on the way, uh, it quickly becomes physical as well. So,
And
um,
by the way, all that said, and we're just at the beginning.
yeah, this is like, it's
Beginning.
as worse. It's the worst as it's ever gonna get.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
check out Manus. Even if it's just going to the homepage and looking at what it does, like, you're gonna be blown away. And don't be afraid. Like, dive in and start understanding, start using this stuff. Um, and I think we'll catch them next week. Yeah, George.
Yeah. We'll catch you next week.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace.